The views expressed on the following program are those of the host, guest callers, producers. They do not reflect the views of this network. Another week's gone by, and welcome to the program, folks. Welcome to an exciting program. I don't know how exciting it's going to get today, but we are live and we are here, so we're going to deal with it. There goes off my music. Thank God that stuff shut off. Welcome to the program, folks. We open up our Facebook live chat room. We open up our YouNow.com chat room. We open up our iVlog chat room. We have them all open. Our number tonight is 607-238-3816. And it is something of a issue with us today, because we have a few emails today to read. The emails that we're going to read today are from people who have made gracious complaints to us about our phone system. Now, if you're looking at us on camera, here on the camera, we have my Dungeons & Dragons stuff behind me. We have our desk here in front of me. We have the phone over here. We have our pods over here for our microphones. We have the computer right here. We have our setup right there. We have a guest chair here and there. We have our printing system over here. So the phone is here. The phone works. I can reach over to the phone right now and press it and talk on it. And I can do that right now if you want me to. See, there's nothing in the phone. I don't know what's going on with it. See, it works. So therefore, if the phone system works, then why are these people complaining? Well, here's the issue. Here's the complaint that these people have. The complaint is that these people were on the program. They were doing the show. They were listening to the program, and they were on hold. One person here says they were on hold for approximately an hour and a half. Another person was on hold for 2 hours and 15 minutes, which I don't know how that's possible, folks. How is that possible if my show only runs for about an hour and 45 minutes? If we have a guest, which we have many coming up, we're going to run for 2 hours. Maybe a little bit less, but 2 hours is the absolute maximum that I will be up here, ever. So, the other one was on hold for 35 minutes and hung up. Folks, here's the problem. These people were listening to my YouTube. Now, I don't want to shout the words YouTube out, but I want to. I have a slight headache, and I honestly wanted to shout out the words YouTube and say archived shows. Folks, what does archived show mean? What does it mean when the show is archived? It means it's already happened. The archive shows are there for people that cannot be there when on Mondays at 8 p.m. when we do it live. That's the reason for the archive shows. That's the entire reason we have archived shows. Okay? To give you a place to go to if you missed the show. So you called in and you wondered why you sat there on hold. Folks, I don't know if these people are stupid. I don't know if they're dumb. They're probably intelligent human beings. I don't know. One's name is Beverly. The other one's Jonathan. The other one's Michael. Now, Michael's written to me almost every week telling me how my show sucks, how I can improve, how I can do this, how I can do that. I think he's just doing it to be mean, to be honest with you. But the other two people meant it. And I'm sorry to those two people. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely sorry that you could not get through. I'm sorry during our live programs when people can't get through for whatever reason they can't get through to us for. A lot of reasons come up. Things come up. Things happen. If I'm sitting here talking, really quickly, if I'm sitting here talking to you, like I'm talking right now, okay, I'm talking to you, then obviously, folks, obviously, you're not going to be able to get through to the phone. I can't reach over there and press the button in the middle of a conversation. It's like hearing somebody talking. Are you going to interrupt just for the caller? No. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to finish my thought, my idea, my concern, my issue, whatever it is I'm talking about. Then I'm going to reach over and say, hi, we have a caller. Or if I'm busy reading material or reading something that's happening, or maybe I have a guest and I'm asking questions or whatever, or maybe I'm reading some news or some material for the show or some history or story somebody sent me that is relevant to the topic of our show, then obviously I'm not going to reach over and press the button for you to come on live on my program. That is, any program does that. Every program in America that does live callers, that does that, has that system. It's just like I don't look at my chat room while I'm doing this. I might shuffle paperwork. I might have a pen in my hand. I might make notes. I might do something. But I'm not sitting here, folks. I'm not sitting here talking and immediately jumping over there. Oh, my God, we have a caller. Let's go. Right in the middle of a particular topical thought, I'm saying. Okay? I don't understand it. I really don't. Sometimes I don't even look at the screen here. I don't even look at you people in the chat room. That's a complaint. Listen, if I'm reading something here on the desk, I'm looking down to read. I'm looking in front of me. I'm holding paperwork up in front of me. This chat room that you're listening to is here because you are involved in my program. You get to watch me do the program. It's not specially done just for you. Person to person here is done for everybody. Now, yes, I talk like I'm talking to an individual, a group of people that's in front of me, an audience, to say, but it's really to watch me do the program. A benefit to you to see me doing the program because that's fun. It's the new way of doing things. Back in the day, programs of radio and streaming and podcasting, you listen to them. You don't watch them do it. They could be standing up, they could be walking, they could be running on a treadmill for all you know, and doing the program. That's what it is, folks. So again, the number is 607-238-3816. The second issue I'm going to have is something that I'm going to talk about. We have an issue here, and we're going to talk about this issue. It's been brought up to me by my fiancée, several of her friends, several of our fans of the program, Suzanne and Mitchell and a few others, that we have a stalker. This person has identified themselves by a few names, and I'm going to say this. Private investigators get $1,000 a week to do private investigating. If you want to stalk and watch my wife and keep track of my wife and keep track of things that are done and keep track of the things we do here and keep track of life and keep track of what goes on and everything about it, then you're doing it for free. And you're going to come up here every week and give me a wife report. Yes, folks, you're going to come up here and you're going to give me the wife report. You're going to tell me what my wife's doing, where she goes, where she eats, what she's wearing for the day, if she's with anybody else, if she's with me, what we did together. And you're going to give me the report. Now, private investigators and people that watch people professionally are paid. You're not going to get any money for this. You're doing this for free. Stalkers do this for free. You wrote me an email, and you come on the phone telling me you know my wife, and you know what's going on, and you're very familiar with her, and you hope she pleases me as much as she pleased you. That's a little weird. That's a little odd. That's a little disgusting. It's a little rancid smell to it a little bit here, folks. I don't understand what it is. I don't understand why people think that's okay to do, because it's not. It's just not okay to do that, folks. It's not. And now I'm going to go to the chat rooms. Welcome Shannon to the chat room. Everybody I say, welcome Mike. Welcome Gregory. Let's welcome Sla. Let's welcome Dave. Let's welcome Eon or Igor or however you say your name there. The people in the iVlog chat room and our Facebook chat room and our iVlog TV chat room. If you want to be recognized in our chat rooms every week, I will recognize you as long as you're here routinely. These are routine people that are on the program every week. They come on the program, they listen to the show, they watch the show, they engage themselves in the show. They talk about things. They help me find topics. They do stuff. Some people are asking what's tonight's topic. I don't know what topic is. We were scheduled to have a guest. They canceled. The guest canceled, but that's okay. We can reschedule them. I understand. This is not a thing of somebody just not wanting to come. There was an important issue and things had to be done. I'm not going to discuss it. It's a private matter between them and what's going on and me. We will reschedule it. We will promote it all week. What happens with a guest is I promote them all week on my Facebook. They're shared by my friends. The whole entire episode is then brought up here on Mondays. Now, we have a couple rules for the show. One caller when we do a guest, and that's one caller one time. You can ask questions or whatever. And also, you have to be respectful, and we have a call screener. So there's a lot of things to do. Today, we canceled the call screener. Keith is not here tonight. We decided to just go about it. Open topic. And it's windy. It's rainy outside today. It's one of those spooky days. It feels weird. So what I'm saying to you is if you want to talk about anything you want to talk about, we can talk about paranormal investigations. We can talk about the world. And also I've decided that I'm not going to be talking about negative stuff anymore. The news and the things going on. My show is for you to get away from the world, for you to get away from what's happening in your reality. Sit back for a little while and say, hey, I'm here. I would like to get away from the world for a little while. I would like to sit back and talk. I would like to see other things. I would like to do other things. I would like to know knowledge. We did it with the pandemic, and we're going to do it with the war. If anything tragic or eventful like last week, I did my thoughts on the war and stuff. Now, we do the news. The news hasn't changed. There's new stuff about, in my state, sexual harassment laws, and there's some other new things going on. I guess the kids have been tried to be abducted in Walmarts and Targets across America, which is a very serious issue we can mention today. Having your kids safe, we may do an entire episode on that. Having your family safe, keeping your family safe. The war is making gas prices go sky high. But, folks, it's not Obama's fault. It's not Biden's fault. It's not the Clintons' fault. It's not Democratic people's fault. This week I've heard it's Biden's fault. It's Obama's fault. It's Clinton's fault. Then people turned around and said, no, Bush started this. Reagan started it. Clinton again, and a Biden, and Obama again. And then the next day it was Trump's fault because he was friends with Russia. And then Trump this and Trump that. And then Biden did this and Biden didn't do this. Folks, let me tell you something. It's not any of the president's fault that our gas prices are this high. Each company makes their own prices. Each company has what they call price positioning, price evaluations, price negotiations, and economic stuff I don't even understand happening to make prices on things. Gas is no different. It is a product that is offered to you for your car, your home, your motorboat, your RV, your motorcycle, your electric generators, whatever it is, your trucks, your buses, your planes, whatever it is that takes a fuel to run a motor. And they take the product and they sell it to you. So, in regards to this, you're accepting this. You're saying, I need to drive, I need to be in a boat, I need to have my home heated, I need to go on vacation in an RV. Trucks need to get goods places. Buses need to get people to work and to travel. Planes need to fly. Boats need to go on the water. Generators need to keep electricity going. So all of this stuff, cooking for restaurants, hospitals, have fuel sources for different stuff. Construction sites, equipment. All these things are being used by you, okay, to keep your daily functions happening. Then pay the price. And the best example of this is somebody on Facebook wrote, you could be sitting in a gym holding your cat and children while your man's off to war and your house is bombed. Or you can keep complaining about the gas. So choose your arguments wisely, folks, because the gas prices may be going up. I don't know if they went up today or not. I only know what happens during the week and what I see on the things, and I didn't leave the house today. Probably get out tomorrow, but on today I normally stay home and prepare for the show. But the guest called out. That's fine. We know that. We understand that. We took measures. We didn't take measures. We're just winging it. And winging it sometimes is funner and more thrilling to me than doing what we normally do in planning. I'm not much of a planner. I'm a last-minute planner. I'm a last-minute test taker. I'm the type to read the entire book and then go take the test. And that's what we did today. So if anybody has anything they want to talk about, anybody has anything they want to say, anything, the phone lines are open. I am now taking a look at iVlog TV. And the iVlog chat room doesn't have much on it. Let me get over here to our Facebook here. Let me get my water down my throat. Let me do a lot of things here because the computer is running fine. Our phones are running fine. Mike Brown, welcome to the program. We have Brian, welcome to the program. A lot of these people, like I said, if you want to be mentioned, we have Kathy and Christine from iBlog TV on us. Welcome to the program. If you want to be a part of this program and you want to be a part of what we're doing here, it's easy to do that. Be here every week, and I will announce you. Again, our phone number is 607-238-3816. And it's probably going across the screen really slowly. We have some technology to help us do that. So what do you want to talk about? Lines are open. I'm going to go and get a glass of water. So we're going to go on a quick commercial break. You know what happens on the commercial breaks, folks? That's when I talk to you in the chat room. That's when I can personally answer questions and get better for you in the chat room. Again, folks, for you listening in the archives, my email, CWLAWRNCE01@gmail.com. www.brotherwade's my website. Our phone number again, 607-238-3816. Our chat rooms are live every week at Mondays at 8 p.m. on Facebook, iVlog TV, and YouNow.com. Folks, we'll be right back.
Learn that when he pollutes the air and the water, he declares war against nature. American International Pictures presents Frogs, the story of the day nature strikes back. It was bound to happen, but why now? Why did these particular people on that particular island face this particular kind of slithering, slimy terror. See Frogs, starring Ray Milland, Sam Elliott, Joan Van Ark, Adam Rourke, and Judy Pace. Frogs, an American international picture, in color, rated PG. Frogs, today the pond, tomorrow the world.
It's Tyrone, and I always tune in to Brother Wade.
This is Vader. And you're listening to the Brother Wade program.
You're listening to Brother Wade.
My name is Zane. I'm with Food Safety, and you're listening to Brother Wade.
Hey, this is Mr. Blige here. You're listening to Brother Wade.
This is Arslan Kachadorian, Mr. Trumpet, the Professionals, and you're listening to the Brother Wade program.
Hey y'all, this is his fiance, and you are listening to Brother Wade.
And that's right, folks. You're listening to the Brother Wade program. And welcome back to the program. A lot of people in our chat rooms are saying hi to us. We welcome everybody. We like to see new faces in our chat room, and we ask everybody to share our program with them. We ask everybody to share the program, to let everybody know that they're here. Let your friends know we're here every week. Let everybody know that we are, doing well on the program. And let everybody know that our show is almost number one. I want it to be number one. And the problem with having a show that's number one is I'm going to have a bigger responsibility. And when you get a bigger responsibility, and you get a bigger audience, and you get bigger stuff, we're going to have to do more stuff, and I realize that. I realize that most of you are looking forward to having me do that, and having me be number one. But by doing that, folks, even if you're listening in our archives, you're listening live to us, Facebook, iVlog, YouNow, I want you to share the show with your friends. I want everybody this week to pick 5 people. 5 people, it's a challenge. 5 people every week that is different than you picked last week. And share it with them. Have them come on with you. Bring your friends to the show. Free tickets, so to speak, to a good show. And by bringing your friends to the show, by having your friends appear on the show, by having your friends come to the chat rooms and talk to us and call our call-in numbers and everything, we will grow, and we will be number one. Phone number tonight is 607-238-3816. The phones are not lighting up. Why are the phones not lighting up, folks? Light them up. Call in. You got a story to tell, you got something to say, you got something to do, let us know. I don't mind the stories. I don't mind random things. Again, today the guest canceled. Next week we're going to plan to have another guest. We're going to plan to have something special. What we do for you not haven't ever had this show with a guest or haven't ever listened to this show before, or maybe you're new to the show, or maybe we just haven't had a guest and you haven't. We have the guest come on, and what we do is we talk about what they do, or who they are, or what they're doing, and then we open up for questions. We open up the lines. I'm planning on having a psychic on. We're going to have a live vampire on. We're going to have some paranormal investigators, professional wrestlers. If you are out there and you are a musician, an artist, an author, a entertainment act, we would like to hear from you, and we would love to have you on the program. You can email me and let me know what's going on. Now let's answer some of these questions in iVlog TV. How long have I been broadcast? How long have I been a podcaster? I've been a podcaster. We used to have a show for about 10 years called The Paranormal World. It was I and another friend who did the show, and we did the show every week. We did it the same time, and the joke used to be you can watch Monday Night Raw, or you can find out what the next spirit is we find. And that was when Raw was big. We would tape Raw, basically, on the cable boxes they had, and we would do our show and then watch wrestling. I did that for a while. Then we had we extended it when my friend went into something else. So we plan on getting back into the paranormal. If any time somebody wants to talk about that, I can. We are going to try to have the wedding. I'm aiming for the wedding to be the 100th episode. I'm aiming to have the wedding broadcasted live on all of the social medias, and it will be a big event. My fiance is definitely involved in that. Mary would love to have that. She is probably going to be listening and joining us at some point tonight. She had something else to do tonight, and I said, go. Don't worry about me in the program. Don't worry about me doing the program. I can do it by myself. I can hold down the fort. We're okay. So our listeners are down from last time, folks. The iVlog TV said, how many listeners do we have? We have about, I would say, about 1,200 right now, about a month, who are listening. If you did the math right, I would say probably about 900 to 1,000 general listeners. They seem to be listening all the time. I don't really know what the total numbers are between archives and live shows and everything, but I know if you combined everything together from what the statistics are, we're getting a good number of people listening and watching. It isn't always that way. You don't always count the rating systems that they have. A lot of rating systems are done by paid people. They pay people to be put on ratings charts. They do a lot of ratings are based on viewer supported by how many people actually listen in a number of a field. For instance, senior citizens versus teenagers, or middle-class people versus rich people and poor people. So a lot of the ratings are not. And these statistics on my YouTube channel, I don't believe them. I look at the numbers of the clicks of the people listening, the sharing the show. If you're listening to the show with your friends or whatever, but the numbers are approximately about 1,000. Now, I don't really know why you want to know how many listeners I have to my show. It's a popular show. It's out there. The archives are being listened to. I have more listeners to the archives than I actually do to the live shows. And that's another reason why the live shows are like they are. The live shows are generally watching me do the show. The live shows are generally me doing it. So basically you're watching somebody put on a show. Okay, free tickets to the show type thing. The production of the show. But we plan on getting that better because we plan on having live guests. If I had enough room and we could have Arcelin the Trumpet Man come in. We could have the Psychic come in live. We could have the local paranormal investigation. The gentleman that wants to come on, he can come on. But I don't have the room for it. I don't have the setup. It's just a little desk. It's me and a microphone. My Dungeons and Dragons books are in the background. We are live from the building we're in, and once if I could move everything into my home or have my own little home studio, as they say, I would do that. I would have it more accessible to people. But a lot of times, if guests are there, guests are in California. The one guy's from Michigan. The other guest tonight's guest was from Florida. The person can't fly up here, especially now, and sit there and talk to me. So it's the phone would be used, and we would have a call screener. We would have somebody screening the calls. We would have somebody screening the rooms that I'm doing. I'm having one here and one there, and I can see you when you come into the room. But if we had a screener, the screener would be in charge of that, and I would be in charge of the material and talking to the guest and being good with the guest and making sure everything was okay. Right now, there's a one ship, one captain, one passenger kind of deal. I'm it. And it looks like we have a call. Caller, welcome to the program. Caller, hello. Okay, maybe they don't. Hello, caller, again for the third time. Hello. Caller, you're live on the air.
Hello.
All I hear is background music. What's? Turn the music down and talk.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, when you mentioned wrestling, I actually met Mick Foley at the Speedy Fest once.
Okay. What was that like?
That was cool. What was nice is I had a wrestling card of Sacco, and he autographed it, and the lady asked Mick if I could have a picture taken with him, and he let me do it, so I have a picture with Mick Foley.
And who was he at that time? Mankind with Sacco and all of his other gimmick there?
Yeah, he was like Mankind, brother, or Dude Love, and
what was he like?
another guy, Cactus Jack.
What was he like?
Oh, he was really down to earth and cool, and and I just said he was, I always liked him. Every time I saw him, I thought he was a cool person. I found out that when he went to shows, he would see if any of the fans would actually let him spend the night at their place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be pretty interesting. It would.
Yeah, 'cause I know if he ever came here and I'd let him stay at my place, He seemed
Well, that was my next question. Did you let him stay at your place?
Yeah, I would let him. And yeah, because he was really down to earth and cool, and we chatted a little bit.
So what was he? One of those wrestlers that's bigger in person, or is he small? Because I saw him and I thought he was a little. I thought he was.
Yeah, he's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he was a little bit. He was bigger than me, and I'm not. I know I'm only 5'8", but I know he was taller than me and a little bit heavier.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw him and Kane at our arena when him and Paul Bearer and Kane were together. They had something to do with The Undertaker, but The Undertaker did not came out, and Mankind just attacked somebody. I don't even think it was shown on Raw. I think it was more of a house show type deal before Raw. Now, for the fans that are listening to us, as you know, you've been to shows, they will have like 3 different shows in one show of Raw. So they'll start at 3 in the afternoon and run to 6. And then from 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 or whenever it starts on TV. And then the whole show is done and then it's aired. The last time I went to one of those shows, the commercial that started at 7:30, and the commercials, we sat through the commercials, and everybody would get up and go, and then they would change the ring or whatever. Now, I think the time frame is 15 minutes off. So when they go on break, they've already 15 minutes come back. They start 15 minutes before they're supposed to start, I guess, on television. But they always have dark matches. They always have in between stuff. They used to have a dark match in between for the commercials. And we saw one dark match one time. I forgot who it was. I think it was the Brooklyn Brawler and somebody else. But a lot of dark matches are also independent wrestlers. They're testing out to see if they would work. So whoever this guy was, he was pretty good. And the TV went off. It went dark, and those two just rolled out of the ring. And then Raw started back up with Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out. And I'm thinking to myself, so you didn't even finish the match. And the commercials came back on. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on with that? I still to this day don't know what that was. What? I don't know. I don't know what that was, but whatever it was, I saw that. And then one other time a dark match lasted. And right away, they finished their match of pinning the guy, and they both, again, rolled out of the ring.
Yeah.
And they both, the match was done. So if you're trying to hide the fact that wrestling's planned or whatever it is, that was not hiding it at all.
Right.
He took them with that, what is that thing where you spin them around and slam their face, a bulldog? You run to the corner and drive their face into the mat, only it's kind of a headlock type deal, and it's supposed to knock the guy out, but it didn't. They just rolled out of the ring and walked back to the dressing room. And one time I sat in the aisle, and that happened. It went dark, and the two guys were just standing there, and they jumped over the barrier by me and walked right into the crowd with the security behind them and went back into the back. So they didn't even go back in the aisle because the show was starting again. So you said the Speedy Fest. Tell people what the Speedy Fest is. For those of you who are not familiar with our area's hot air balloon festival, and that's basically what it is. What's the Speedy Fest?
Right.
The Speedy Fest is, what'd you do? It's have Speedies, hot air balloon ride. What'd you do?
And what was cool too, I got the Speedy Fest button, saw Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad there. He signed my Speedy Fest button.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what the Speedy Fest is a competition. It used to be a competition, probably still is, for Speedies, and all Speedies are chunks of meat grilled. We're going to make it really simple. Chunks of chicken grilled in special sauces. They would judge the sauces, they would judge the meat, and they would judge your creativity. Like one year they had alligator. I think one year they had deer Speedies, venison Speedies. They will have a competition of Speedy eating competition, how many people can eat the most Speedies. You get a button. A button basically is, what is it? Like you hang it around your neck, you pin it on yourself. What is it? Caller, are you there?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, what do? You glue it on, you pin it on yourself or something?
Yeah, they have it like the old-fashioned thing. You know, they have it like a I don't know how they just have like a pin, like a needle on the one end. You bent, twist it around and hook it, in that little notch they have, and it keeps it on your shirt.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a button, but what is it? Square, round? What? One year it was like a triangle almost.
Yeah.
Something special. I think they should have hot air balloon buttons with the year on it and something special, like a theme or something. But I don't know. The whole fiasco of going there, parking. I mean, for God's sake, the tow company would make more money taking illegal park people than they do any other day of the year. And I don't know if it happened last year. Did it happen last year?
I'm not sure. I haven't really paid much attention because I don't get out of the house much anymore.
So where are you now? What's your name and where you're from, by the way?
Yeah, I'm Tim, and I'm from Endicott. I live in Endicott near Jim Roman's Bakery.
Yep. Yep. So what's it like out there right now?
Oh, a while ago it was raining really heavy, but it eased off.
I think the snow has ended.
Yeah.
I hope we don't. I mean, I keep telling people at work, we're going to get snow. We're going to get snow. And it's funny. But people don't like it when I tell them that. But we've only had 2 months of winter, for God's sake.
I know.
It started snowing back in the end of December. And then it went into January and February. Winter legally ends on the calendar, what, next week or something?
Yeah, I think so, if I remember right.
Yeah. All right, Tim, thanks for calling.
Hey, no problem, man. It was nice chatting with you, and hopefully we can maybe go out for coffee sometime.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe even get you to the wedding. I mean, we'd love to have some of our fans at the wedding, too, but we're limited probably to about 5 tickets. We might even have a contest. Like, I don't know what kind of contest we would have. But I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
I knew the voice. But go ahead and share us with all your friends so they all come in.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have you live in the studio to talk about some of the crazy stuff you've done.
Right.
All right,
Yeah, I got a
Tim.
lot
Thanks
of
for calling.
stories.
All
Okay.
right, yeah. All right, folks, that was Tim, one of our good friends. I knew it was him. I knew by the voice. You get to know your friends by their voices on the phone. Tim saw Mankind. I really don't remember much of the match that I saw, but I remember seeing him at the arena. Sometimes when you see these wrestlers in person, when they're not in their gimmick, now everybody is not familiar with professional wrestling used to wear this weird mask, and he was called Mankind. He was supposed to be called Mason the Mutilator because he has a history of big Japan death matches where landmine matches, barbed wire matches, they replaced the ropes with barbed wire, and everybody thinks that's how he got his ear. He had a bad injury to his ear. What happened was he's wrestling Vader in Germany, and he got wrapped up in the ropes, and the ropes tightened around his face. And when he went up, his ear caught something to do with the ropes. And when he landed on the floor, his ear was damaged very badly. Parts were hanging off him. And he got the reputation for having no ear. But that wasn't in Japan of his death matches. That was actually an accident with the wrestling ropes tightening around his head. Which it can be very serious, and it can actually choke somebody. There's been guys that have almost turned different colors because of that happened. Thanks, Tim, for calling in. It was great to have you. He has some really cool stories. He's a pretty cool guy. We got to have him here for some of his stories. His stories alone are great. Anyways, thanks for calling, Tim. We know the phones work now. Do we have anybody else on the line? Let's see if we have anybody else on the line. Caller? Okay, they hung up. So somebody doesn't want to patiently wait for me. I had 2 other people with the phones blinking, and they don't want to patiently wait for somebody to finish their conversation. That's sad that somebody doesn't want to wait on the phone long enough to be on this program. I would wait to be on this program. You wait for the person that's ahead of you. It's like waiting in McDonald's. You sit and you wait, or Burger King. I promote Burger King more than I promote McDonald's, folks. You wait for the person to finish the conversation, and Tim is a really cool person. Now, my microphone is rattling all around. I don't know what's wrong with that this week. Every week I got a problem with this damn thing. I think what I'm going to do is get that big boom arm thing back, and I'm just going to make this whole area a better area for me, because right now I have dice, I have books, I have all this stuff from our Dungeons & Dragons game here, and then I do this. But I don't have a lot of room. It's just a desk. It's just up against the wall. And James Taylor, welcome to the program. Amy Shelton, welcome to the program. Let's go to our iVlog TV chat room. We don't have anybody different here. And in our you now is Shannon. Shannon's patiently sitting there watching the program. I don't know if they're at work when they're watching or whatever. But if you do work, and you do work during the week, I want you to go into work. Here's a challenge for everybody. Go into work and tell 10 people at work about my show. 10 people. I should print out business cards and all this stuff for this. Who else joins us? James Taylor already has been announced. I don't know why he just appeared back in the room. That happens sometimes with people. They appear in the room and then they go away and then they appear back. I don't really get it. I don't oftentimes get how this chat system works here, but it does. It does a good job. And we get things done here. But anyways, back to these wrestling things. If you've ever been to a live show, maybe you've never been to a live show. They're called dark matches because back in the day they were dark. They were not televised. They say non-live matches. Well, it's live right in front of you. Or a pre-show. If you're at a show and you paid a ticket for a show, you're not at a pre-show. You might be to a pre-taping. You might be to a non-televised show, but it's still live. So they have a non-televised port. The cameras are not on. These people are not appearing on television, and they're wrestling. And a lot of times these wrestling organizations, WCW also did it. ECW might have done it. I don't know. A lot of their wrestlers were the same ones seen on TV. They just wrestled 2 matches. Or the jobbers. Which are basically, I call them no-name guys. They're just named talent. Johnny and Joey going up against Demolition. We have Kevin and Steve going up against, the British Bulldogs. Okay? And we have Phil going up against, Philip going up against, Kane. And we have Don going up against, Papa Shundo, if you remember him. The Ultimate Warrior versus Michael. And these guys would be called jobbers because that's all it is. It's a job. They're enhancement talent. A lot of these guys would wrestle 2-3 matches, but for the most part, the wrestlers the dark matches or non-televised matches would be something to hold the audience over while they're doing something. They would change the ring ropes, or they change the outside of the ring apron while the guys are wrestling. Or let's say they go on a break for the TV show commercials. There would be a 10-minute commercial break, and they would have 2 matches for you to watch. And these companies like World Wrestling Entertainment and World Championship Wrestling, basically Turner, would then have some wrestlers come in from the independents. Now, if you're not familiar with professional wrestling, the independents are no-name companies that wrestle like at the Legion Halls, or they do wrestle at the arena. Or they're guys that are out of wrestling school that are not wrestling for the WWE, or when I was a kid it was WWF, or at the time it was the World Wrestling Federation and World Championship Wrestling and the National Wrestling Alliance and the American Wrestling Alliance. They were people that were not these companies. So they weren't big companies. They might only take in $500. And they might pay their guys only $10 each. So the biggest name wrestler there gets $50. So the championship title for the heavyweight championship, the 2 guys are getting $50 to wrestle for a belt. Anyways, these guys would come in and they would say, hey, do you guys want to try out? Or do you guys want a non-televised match to see if you can do television work? Or they would practice something. A lot of times you'll see it on YouTube where Stone Cold Steve Austin was wrestling Kevin Nash, or you would see Yokozuna versus The Undertaker in a non-televised match because they're practicing for the big name show, like WrestleMania or World Championship Wrestling had Halloween Havoc. We saw Sting versus Kevin Sullivan. I saw Sid Vicious versus the Insane Clown Posse at the arena. Now, these guys were trying something, or it wasn't a televised thing. It was something for the wrestlers. It didn't have a lot. That's where I met Tank Abbott. He's a Ultimate Fighting Championship guy. I've met Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock. A lot of times they would go around, shake hands with you, and then get in the ring wrestle. It's a way to meet the fans. It's a way to hold over for camera crews or production crews to get with it, to get to the next segment of their show, or maybe a cage match is happening coming up. And they're going to have the cage. Well, they're getting ready to do the cage. They're getting ready to take the break, but they're trying to do it. And a lot of times when they took the break to set up the cage, they would have a cage match to see if the cage would hold up, if they put it together properly. So they would have a non-televised cage match. And then later down the road we used to call it WWF Superstars of Wrestling, or WWF Main Event. Hulk Hogan was on Main Event most of the time. We can just name people that were on these shows, like I was just saying. But anyways, as Tim had talked about, folks, on his phone call, he met things, and like I was just explaining, here in this little spew here, these wrestlers would go to events, they would go to things, autograph signings, and then make the TV tapings, and then do a house show. And it's a big circle. But we all used to see different stuff. We used to have World Class Championship Wrestling was down in the southern states. We had the WCW World Championship Wrestling down in Georgia, Atlanta area. They would come up to the Virginia areas. And then we had the World Wrestling Federation up towards West Virginia upwards, and then out to Ohio and Illinois. Out west, we had a lot of the other half of World Championship Wrestling, which they bought some of the shows out in the California area, that Territory Day type thing. But it's all, one person in the chat room mentioned, it's a show. Yes, it's a show. It's a production. I don't think it's fake. When we take two guys my size, and you can take a look at how big I am, and we get in the ring, neither of us are falling down. Neither of us are taking damage. So we're going to have to act. We're going to have to do something for the folks to think that something's happening. And I've sat ringside a lot of times. And the ringside, when you sit ringside at a professional wrestling event, you see a lot more stuff. I used to watch the production. I used to watch the fanfare. I used to watch all the people run around in the dark. I love doing that. But it was that way back then. Now it's a little different. Now it's more show and more ability. How many times can you backflip off a top rope? How many times can you fly off something? How many times can you be in the air? Aerial moves and all that. The big guys are not like they were. They used to have big guys. And somebody mentioned Hillbilly Jim. I know a big guy, Haystacks Calhoun. Big guys like King Kong Bundy. And again, like I mentioned, Andre the Giant. Big John Studd. There were big guys in WCW like Vader. The Mad Professor, the Wizard, the Grand Wizard guy there weighed 360. And of course, then as I went into high school and I grew up, there was Yokozuna. There was the Big Show. Right now is a pretty big guy. We have Kane, The Undertaker, but they're more tall than big. What I'm saying is big is they're heavy. They're obese, fat guys, big guys. Now, you do have tall guys. I'm more of the tall type guy. I'm 6'3". I weigh 370, 360, 319. I've weighed. I've never gone over about 360. So I'm not only a tall guy, I'm also one of the big guys. But there's guys like me that do both, like the One Man Gang, Bam Bam Bigelow. They had PN News over in WCW. World Class Championship Wrestling had Kamala. They had, what was his name there? Booker or something. Big, heavy guy, big beard. He kind of reminded me of Brody, Bruiser Brody, but he wasn't. He was a big, tall guy like me. Tim Brooks, Killer Tim Brooks was another one, but he's more on the light side. The lighter side was Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Sting, Ric Flair, those types. But anyways, away from wrestling, somebody wants me to wish somebody a happy birthday today. And we're going to wish a happy birthday to Brittany Gallen. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Brittany. I don't mind wishing people happy birthdays, anniversaries on the show. Brittany, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And save me a piece of cake, okay? Save me a piece of cake. Get me a piece of cake. If you have to send it in the mail, don't, because the last person that sent me a piece of cake in the mail, it was dried by the time it got to me. That is another story for another time, folks. It seriously is. Seriously is another story for another time. We've gone without a break here on the show, and I don't know if I'm going to take another one this week, because the breaks are some people complained about the breaks. They said, I don't understand what they are. They're a collection of things. The contracts are ending on some of the breaks. We're going to have to find some. If you have a business, now that I'm talking about this, if you have a business, maybe you're a psychic, maybe you sell things online and you want me to mention it on this show, send me an email, CWLAWRENCE01@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to mention you on the program. I don't mind helping small entrepreneurs and people that are in business for themselves. We have a Jessica joining us. We have a John joining us. Who over here is joining us. We have a Kathy joining us on iVlog. We have a Dale joining us. Welcome to the program, folks. I might as well mention these people that are just coming into the room. They're not regulars, but they're now coming into the room, and we're going to recognize them. Once in a while, I do that. Again, if you want to be mentioned every week, you got to come every week. But these people just joined. Go ahead and tell your friends about us. Please do that. So what's on everybody's mind? I saw a couple people mention a few things in iVlog, and I want to answer some of these other questions. The person was asking, why do I know so much? How do I know so much about wrestling? Well, I've been a wrestling fan all my life. I've done wrestling. I'm a backyard legend of wrestling. Wrestling was, my grandfather used to be a bell ringer. My uncle used to go down to the Y when wrestling was here, and he would find people that would really want to get into a fist fight with each other. And what would happen was, back then, they were trying to ad-lib this fact that wrestling is supposedly fake. It's planned. Something about it is that the winners already chosen, the losers chosen. The match is up to the two and the figure it out. Anyways, he would go and get two people that really wanted to fight. And in the Y, he would come up and he would find the two people that really wanted to have a fist fight. And it was to make wrestling look better. I have another uncle who was in charge of a little bit of planning some stuff. He would put the people together in different places based on different things, the size or whatever. And then the two would get in the ring and fight each other for real. They would get in there, and it's almost like an Ultimate Fighting Championship thing, but the referee, they were given rules they had to follow, of course, and they would fight each other. And then the winner was determined. Now, I was always told the winner would then advance to go against somebody else who won. So then at another town or another event, we had the Masonic Temple. We had the Old Legion Hall. We had the small arena that caught fire back in the 70s. We had the Boys and Girls Club. We had a hotel that had a bar, and they would use the dance floor for wrestling. So these different events would happen, and then I guess at the end of the month or scheduled time, they would have a prize, a money prize for the best wrestler. And out of these 3 matches, they would then, I guess it was 6 matches. There would be, I think, 15 matches on the card. 6 of these matches would be these people that would want to fight each other. And then those 3 would then go into, anyways, I'd never understood how it was. It didn't. These 3 people would then be prize winners. And then those 3 people could choose to stay if they were good enough. So out of 6 people that really got into a fight and really got in the ring and really fought and drew blood and made wrestling look better, look real more than it did already, out of these 6 people, they would then choose the best one they saw. And I think one or 2 of those people then would be told, hey, we would like you to join the wrestling club. And my one uncle once in a while would step in the ring and prove to one of these people that they were not all hot shit. They were not good. My mom used to say those words. He would prove they're not hot shit. And what she meant was he would get in there and hurt them and, prove to them that they're not as good as they think they are. They're not the best. And that was his job. My grandfather was a bell ringer. He also knew wrestlers. He also knew people to plan I guess, the places for the wrestling. And I had an aunt who, I guess, knew some people, and she would be in charge of the female wrestlers. And from what my mom said, she was somebody not to mess with. And I guess it was the same way. Take 2 girls from the bar that wanted to fight that night, put them in the ring, and have them fight in front of people and make money. I guess they would throw the 2 girls $25 or whatever the price was that they wanted to do. And the 2 girls would fight each other and claw each other and, pull their hair out of their head or whatever. And that was the show. And I guess. And if you ever met this aunt, see, I'm not telling you their names. I'm going to protect my family here. But anyways, if you met this aunt, you would definitely not want to mess with her. She was not the type she could hold her own very well. And I'm not surprised she didn't get in the ring and show a few girls a thing or two either. Like my mom would say, show them they're not hot shit. But that's the way it is. If you have any stories, let me know. And as I look at the chat rooms again, we have some other people waving and saying, Mike Brown is here with us. What are you doing, Mike? Why is Mike not getting on the phone and calling in and telling us what's going on with his life? Anyways, a few of my chat room friends here on the Facebook chat room I know pretty well, and I'd love to have them call in and tell me what they've been doing, because we haven't seen them here for a few times. Why have they been playing the old word hooky and not coming in and speaking and joining us for the show? Why are they hiding behind the other people in the row? Why are they hiding and not taking part in the program? Folks, I have to go on a break here. We're going to go on a quick break. When we return, I think it's going to be almost time for us to get out of here. It's been a good time. We've talked about everything in the world this week. Professional wrestling this week. We talked about our Speedy Fest. And I encourage anybody that likes to go to events, festivals, and fairs. We have a fairy festival. We have the Speedy Fest, which you just have to go to experience it. There's nothing I can do to describe what this event is. It's ever since I was a little kid. Hot air balloons, people, the food, the competitions. It's something. We also have a apple festival. We have pumpkin farms in our area during the Halloween season. It's all here, man. It's all in a big. I don't think anything is 30 minutes from each other. I really don't. So you could go 40 minutes probably in a big circle and hit everything in one day if you really wanted to. All right, folks. If they were all on one day, you could hit them all in one day, and it would be a great day. Just spend a week here, and you'd love it. Anyways, folks, we got to go on this break. We'll be right back.
Introducing the fast, efficient way to get it off your chest. It's the all-new Toot and Tell Drive-Through Confessional.
Hello, my child, and welcome to Toot and Tell.
If you've committed 10 sins or less, try our Sinners Express Lane, or come inside and meditate at the shrine to Our Lady of the Lube Jar. It's all at the Toot and Tell Drive-Through Confessional. Stop by this week and get a free Toot and Tell or Go to Hell bumper sticker. Just look for the clown and the cleric's collar. Toot and Tell. Closed Sundays.
Learn that when he pollutes the air and the water, he declares war against nature. American International Pictures presents Frogs, the story of the day nature strikes back. It was bound to happen, but why now? Why did these particular people on that particular island face this particular kind of slithering, slimy terror? See Frogs, starring Ray Milland, Sam Elliott, Joan Van Ark, Adam Rourke, and Judy Pace. Frogs, an American International Picture, in color rated PG. Frogs, today the pond, tomorrow the world.
All right, folks, welcome back to the program. We are here, and we are, I don't know, I was supposed to play some music and something for you folks, and it didn't play. It just all screwed up. It screwed up last time. I don't know why it screwed up. Don't know why. Anyways, folks, welcome back to the program. Our program is a little shorter this week. Because we didn't have much. Our guest couldn't make it. So we winged it, and we've had a good time talking about professional wrestling. Now, somebody mentioned Hillbilly Jim being the Godwins' uncles. I mentioned the Godwins, and I'm going to mention it again. The Godwins are a tag team that was pig farmers, or hillbillies, if you would. They wore overalls like Hillbilly Jim did. And they were dump slop on people, which probably was just probably pea and vegetable soup. A lot of times I wondered if they even knew they were going to get slop on them, or, if it was a surprise to the people they wrestled, because a lot of them didn't seem like they enjoyed it too much. So what happened was, I think it was Henry Godwin got a neck injury, and if I'm not mistaken, a neck injury was a problem before he wrestled the Legion of Doom, which were the Road Warriors. But anyways, he took the move off the top rope, and they went backwards, and they landed wrong. And after that, the team split up, and I guess they did a lot of independent show stuff. But anyways, it happens a lot where wrestlers will get injuries, and they will have to go away or stop, or a lot of them become trainers or management in other fields of the world wrestling scene. WCW, a lot of them became managers, or they were behind the scenes as supervisors at the events. We have the World Wrestling Entertainment. A lot of them are promotion guys. A lot of them are human resource-like people. And a lot of them also are talent specialists looking for talent. So they still are in their career. A lot of WWE, so to speak, guys, now that it's all one big wrestling company, are doing very well in sort of office positions, if we can call it that. And they do very well. And they do an excellent job for the company. And if I was to retire, or if I had that level of achievement, and I retired, I would love to be doing behind-the-scenes stuff. But I would love to just stay in there somewhere. But I would rather get back in the ring once in a while. I want to be like Ric Flair. I'm kind of retired. I'm trying to do behind-the-scene things, but I have that match once in a while. I get back in the ring and show people what I'm all about. Anyways, I plan on having a, as I grab some paperwork, I plan on having some professional wrestling guests on here. And again, if you are an entertainer, a musician, somebody that has a talent, or you have some stories, or you're an author, or an abductee, or a specialist in a field, we would love to have you as a guest. And we're looking to put more guests on the program. We're looking to have, and when we do that, we'll promote them all week, and people can call in and ask all their questions. We're looking for a psychic to come on once a month and do psychic readings. So we're trying to improve the program. My website, www.brotherwade.com. My email, cwlawrence01@gmail.com. If you want to leave a message with us during the week, remember, the archive shows are not live. If you call the number, you can just leave a message, but that number is 607-238-3816. Folks, it's been great talking to you this week. It's been fun talking about what we're talking about. Every Tuesday, our show can be heard in the archives on my YouTube in its entirety. Sometimes you miss the advertisements. The advertisements are dwindling very small because a lot of the advertisements that I have are basic agreements. If the agreements end for a certain period, like a 30-day or 60-day period, I can't put them up anymore. So we're looking to get more stuff like that on there. If you're a small business, we would love to advertise you. We would love to talk about you. We'd even love to have you come on the show for a time and talk about what you do. It's been nice having everybody. Again, my website, www.brotherwade.com. I'll see you next week, folks.